Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to the next episode review of Hell's Paradise, episode 3. And I gotta say, already, this is, first of all, welcome to hell, you can basically say, because they've already arrived at, our characters have already arrived at Hell's Paradise, and a lot of the craziness things that we see in this was just like, wow. Not with good animation though, but some of the creature designs, it was like very creepy and in a good way, But what comes down to it was the characters of Gabimaru and Sagiri, where they arrive at the island, and each criminal has a someone to look after, right? One of the high ranking executioners, because whether it be restrained or not, though, have their hands tied though, but with Gabimaru and Sagiri, they're walking, right, and all of a sudden, because Gabimaru has his hands tied, but it's not. Then Sagiri says, "Hey, put your hands back together," right? And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, one criminal just goes and whacks Gabimaru with a freaking wrecking ball, and he said he's gonna kill him. This restrainers, let him do what they do because basically, they're criminals, so they don't really care if they live or die, though, so hey, let's let them do what they want, right? So, Gabimaru, he's a guy, in the previous episode, he was basically, as all the criminals were fighting to the death, he just stood there for the most part. He said he didn't want to kill anybody, but he was left with no choice, right? Same here, I guess I have no choice, guess I'll have to kill you, right? I mean, it shows how very strong how Gabimaru is because, like I said, in the first episode, all the ways they were trying to kill him to no avail, like burning him alive, boiling him, even cutting it half with a sword, the sword will break, right? This guy has, this big guy has all these weapons he collected from other people, the wrecking ball, this big spear, everything just breaks when he tries to whack Gabimaru. And also, all these weapons, they get sent flying through the air and trying to rain down on him. Then Gabimaru goes and takes his foot and just chucks it, one of the spears right into the guy's chest. And then we cut to an aftermath where the guy is just totally skewered. Just like, damn, Gabimaru is such a badass, And that's why he's nicknamed the Hollow, though. And then the other executioner that was with that guy takes his head off because, if they have to show, because taking his head to show proof that the guy is dead, right? Otherwise, if they say, oh, he's dead, we wouldn't know that. Otherwise, the guy's just basically roaming free, right? If you hear that, if you hear the gardener is out there using his leaf blower, so if you hear that noise. But anyway, so they have to take proof if that criminal is dead, though. And then we see shots of other criminals we think, may be around a little bit longer, but actually, oh no, that character's dead now? With that ninja girl, she seemingly looks dead. I don't see no blood or anything on her, right? Or that one executioner that was talking to about Sagiri in the previous episode when how Sagiri is always so hesitant, and all that. He's this guy with an executioner with an eye patch. He's scored that one giant guy when the previous episode was just laying there, not doing anything, And I thought, oh wow, he kills that executioner, right? Just goes and just punches. See, his upper half is nothing left, I was, oh, okay, that guy, he dies, okay. That executioner, he dies. And then, that ninja girl, it seemed like she's dead. Or the other girl who looked like crazy, she gets cut down. So a lot of these characters, you think that, okay, they could be around, but actually they're already dead, And then also we get this, and we get this a decent fight that Gabimaru all of a sudden he takes out a sword and just starts attacking Sagiri, saying that, hey, I want to get this elixir. I just want to go back to my wife, and you're in my way. Basically, you need to die. But the interesting thing is, though, while they're fighting each other, Gabimaru, a couple of times he had a chance to kill Sagiri. One point he like this to Sagiri's throat. Right, he could have done that though, but he didn't because he's hesitating now. he's hesitating because he's having reminiscent flashbacks of what he was with his wife. He's saying that you're not your old self anymore. You have emotions, and saying courage is like one of the best emotions you got. And also we have flashback to when that his wife's father, his piece of shit father, you can say, shows that when he's holding Gabby Morgan as a baby, and he killed his parents. Saying that basically if you're just raising a peaceful life with a child, a family, that's weakness. And that's his weakness. If you're not strong enough, you're weak. And you can't protect. If you can't protect, that's weakness. I mean, that guy is cool, absolutely piece of garbage, piece of shit, basically. His father-in-law, you could say. But because even the point, because like I mentioned before, he scarred his daughter's face up, But despite all that, though, like he went the one point where he really has the upper hand. I think he's trying to stab Sagiri, right? But he can't do it. He's just still hesitating. But like how there's like that shadow of like maybe a vision of what it looked like. It looks like a demon lookalike of the father-in-law, right? But also that disappears when the image of his wife holds on to him, right? Basically she's the one who basically just humanized him, basically. Made him being more of human, because before he was just a cold-blooded killer, no emotions though, but since he had his wife, she brought all that out of him. Made him more human, full with more emotions, basically just that she's the one thing in his life that he can't live without, she warmed his heart up, basically. And all that, just, he could not do it, so it's like like she said, you're not your old self anymore. Even when Sagiri's seeing all that, she sees all this as well, even she says you're not your old self anymore. So, and she's willing to overlook his actions for what he was doing to her, though, because she seems like he's the one he can be saved because of that, And like it's like he didn't want to do this anymore, right? He wanted to live a peaceful life with his wife, right? So she sees all this, and she's willing to overlook this little incident, and so they can carry on to find the elixir, right? Because so they can go back and be with his wife. And I think that was pretty good character between Sagiri and Gabby Morrow, And all that is going on, like more of the craziness of these creatures, because this is like, so he says, this is not of this world, right? Like we get that one swordsman guy, like I mentioned from the previous episode, the one swordsman, the older guy with a beard, and he's a swordsman, right? And he's also with an executioner looking after him, right? And there's this butterfly that's on his hand, right? But first you think nothing of it, but when he sees the butterfly, it has a human face on there, right? It had a stinger, and he sees that what it done to his hand, without hesitation, cuts his hand off immediately. Just immediately cuts his hand off with no hesitation at all, and it's good because they look at his chopped off hand, it starts turning into a plant. And just really, he just quickly, doesn't cauterize or anything, just quickly wraps it up, and he sees more of these butterflies, and we see like these freaking centipedes with like little hands coming out of its mouth, and a giant, and there's like, oh well, this is really interesting, and the guy's he's ready to prepare to fight, right? And then all of a sudden this giant comes out of the woods with this like feet coming out of its mouth and eyes, and just like, what? I'm like, what the hell am I watching? What these creatures are, And the guy is really starting to sweat a little bit, and with Sagiri and Gabby Morrow, more of those centipedes with hands coming out, and all of a sudden this looking this giant fish head with multiple arms that are like this, right? And giant fish head, and it's like, and they're both getting ready to fight, and that's where the episode ends. I'm like, wow. It shows like this place is kind of like hell on earth, Oh, it looks kind of nice though, but don't let your guard down. These plants or whatever, it's unnatural, right? And just you can't let your guard down for a second. Because like I said, you have a butterfly with a human face. When it stings, you'll basically turn to your plant. The guy, the swordsman, immediately thought of that giggling corpse, Well, it means it looks like a corpse, but the guy that corpse was still giggling though, right? When we saw from the last episode, right? With the flowers coming out of him. So he immediately thought that. So that's why he immediately just cut off his hand with no hesitation. And look, it did, because it turned into a freaking plant. So this episode of episode 3 of Hell's Paradise, yeah, we got some more good character development between the chemistry between Gabi Maru and Sagiri with her, yeah, even though Gabi Maru he doesn't want to kill Sagiri, he has no hatred towards her, but he just wants to find the elixir and go home back to his wife. That's all he cares about. But like I said, he's not his old self anymore. That's why he's been so hesitating to kill Sagiri, because a couple of times he could have done it, but he stopped himself though, right? And like I said, he's not his own self anymore. That's why his wife is basically the one who basically made him more human again, warmed his heart up, you could say. So that's why Sagiri's like, I'll overlook this and we'll help you find the elixir or whatever, But the creature designs of this was absolutely creepy as hell in this, Which I give props to the animation, the animation design, right? A giant fish head with 6 arms are like this, and centipedes with hands coming out of it, And just this is gonna be a wild ride to watch, It's gonna be a very wild ride. So yeah, episode 3 was crazy, insane, I would say, It is really hell on earth, you can say. Or they're now in hell. Because it is called Hell's Paradise for a reason. Welcome to hell. Yeah, I always want to say, welcome to hell, or is it hell? This is hell on earth. I don't know. Those are good taglines for this episode, but yeah. Bob Sharp when I put it on the thumbnail, though, but yeah, episode 3 of Hell's Paradise, really good episode, crazy, insane, and the chemistry between Gabi Maru and Sagiri, I really did enjoy. And some of these criminals, or that one executioner guy, I thought, oh, he might be around a bit more, but no, he's actually dead already. And some of these other ones may seemingly dead already, But yeah, it was just really insane, though. But yeah, it's episode 3 of Hell's Paradise. Can't wait for the next one. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode review and more movie reviews to come on the Steven Seagal movies. And we'll see you next time. Later.